was out in grad school in Boston about 15 years ago. There was this guy that was in our class. He wasn't in my section. I didn't know him all that well, but he was one of those folks that just completely destroys stereotypes. His folks were from India, and I think they immigrated over here before he was born. But he was from Alabama, and when he opened his mouth, you heard he was from Alabama, if you know what I'm saying. And it was just one of those things where it's a complete disconnect with traditional stereotypes, because when you hear people talk like that, you don't expect them to look like they were from India, the country. And he was as Alabaman as anybody else from down there, even though he didn't, quote unquote, look the part. And it was a great example of what this country is. And I thought of him the other day listening to the Republican nominee, Donald Trump's speech on immigration. I don't know how many of you heard it, but in that speech, he talked about setting up rules that would only allow for immigration based on historical levels of the population in the United States. And what that means, right, is we're only going to let white people in because historically, at least since the founding of this country, the majority of citizens have been white. And I think that's a real problem. And let me just expound on that for a couple of ways. First, if we do that, we don't allow people in who may look like Chris's folks, who are doctors, and there are many people coming here from all over the place that contribute to not only the medical profession, but all sorts of professions in really positive ways. And secondly, I watched a movie the other day called Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks. If you haven't seen it, it's really, really good. But he plays this lawyer who was famous for negotiating the prisoner exchange between a Russian spy in the 60s and an American U-2 pilot that was shot down over Russia. But in this scene, he's having a talk with a CIA guy, and they're talking about rights. And he's saying, okay, what's your name? It's of German extraction, right? He says, well, my name's Donnelly. It's Irish. But that doesn't matter because we're Americans. But the only thing that makes us American is the rule book that we all agree to live by. Due process of law, equal protection for everyone in the United States. And if we're going to go back to making laws based on race and getting away from everyone playing by the same rule book, it really takes away from who we are as a country and the values that we honor as Americans. And so as we move forward in this presidential campaign, as you hear things like that, please remember what this country should be about. The values that we really do hold dear, what it means when we stand and pledge allegiance to that flag and salute the national anthem. Everyone in this country deserves an equal shot, and we shouldn't judge you based on where your parents came from, what the color of your skin is, and what religion that you find gives you spiritual enlightenment. Thanks a lot. Bye.